Overwatch 2 retail patch notes, August 10, 2023. Okay, Overwatch 2 Invasion is now available. Enjoy the new Invasion mystery missions, all new skins, cosmetics, rewards in the Invasion Battle Pass, the new core PvP game mode Flashpoint, and the new support hero Illari. We're gonna start with Illari. Illari has been added to the lineup. Solar rifle is a primary fire, is long range auto charging rifle. So this is kind of like soldier's charging rifle, kind of like that, I will assume. I don't know. Secondary fire is medium range healing beam that consumes solar energy. Does that mean you have to be on the sun? What if it's night? Does she use raw? Like we were talking with Caitlin yesterday. I'm asking all stupid questions, guys. I'm sorry. Outburst ability 1 launches you in the direction that you are moving. Okay, so you can go forward or you can go backwards, I will assume. Knocking back enemies, hold jump to go higher. Kind of like Baptiste, we need to try that. Ability 2, deploy a pylon that heals allies. So this is kind of like the symmetric turrets that we saw. And the ultimate is Captive Sun, fire an explosive ball of solar energy, enemies hit are outslowed and explode after taking significant damage. She's a very hybrid hero, honestly. Hero updates, this is what we want. Okay. Hero updates. Armored health damage reduction is now additive with other sources of damage reduction and has a maximum cap of 50%. Armor damage reduction was a multiplicative with damage reduction from abilities, creating situations where certain heroes were much more difficult to damage than intended. We can all agree to that. Since they were bypassing the damage reduction cap, this change will smooth out some of the extreme pikes of survivability. I just hope that it doesn't become one of those things where the tanks die quickly. Because that's not what a tank, like, I like feeling like a tank. If I'm playing tank, I want to feel like a tank, not like a squishy. Diva. Once Diva's mech was destroyed, there was a window of time where the pilot could be damaged or killed before the player fully had control over their character. With this change, Diva can no longer be damaged by things like explosions or melee attacks before the player fully transitions control from the mech to the pilot. Ooh, that's huge. Do you know how many times I died? Booster's cooldown was reduced. Ooh, yes, we can fly more! Reduced from 4 to 3.5 seconds. Pilot now damage is immune for 0.4 seconds while ejecting. That's a Diva buff. Yes. Yes. It's time to bully the widows, the widows, the ashes, the Hansos. Doomfist. Doomfist is performing well overall, but tends to have more deaths on average compared to other tank heroes. Oh, he's getting a buff. I hate Doomfist. And Varus. Yes, now I can fly more to her to move her out of the way. So, let's see. Lowering the seismic slam cooldown will reduce downtime in his abilities rotation and translate into more survivability due to the increased mobility and potential for generating over health more often with his passive ability. Additionally, Power Block will now always reduce explosive damage from a projectile struck directly to Doomfist, even though normally you have to face that direction in the incoming damage to block it. So the cooldown for his seismic slam has reduced. That's a buff. That's a huge buff. And now the power block is going to reduce. It has a reduced damage as well. I hate Doomfist. Orisa. 45 is sometimes weaker now due to the change to her armor damage reduction and ability damage reduction interact. Activating 45 while Orisa has armor health remaining will hit the damage reduction cap and will result in a lower effective health than before. So we increase the armor of overall. No, sorry. The two only people who can burn him, like Farah and Junkie, are going to be useless now. Exactly. So activating 45 while Orisa has armor health remaining will hit the damage reduction cap, and as a result, it will lower the effective health than before. So we are increasing the amount of our health it grants. Okay, so 45 is going to give more quote-unquote health, and in addition we are increasing the fusion driver effect range so Orisa can deal a little bit more damage before engaging at close quarters. Oh my god, so I can shoot. Damage fallen rate has increased from 50 to 20 meters. Yes, I still might not be able to get the stupid Ferris, but I can go further out. That's really cool. 45 increase of the, ooh, look at that health buff. That's huge! 75 to 125. Ramatra. Similar to Doomfist's power block range, Ramatra's block ability will now apply damage reduction to projectiles struck directly to him. His Annihilation ultimate ability was being generated slightly too quickly for how impactful it can be. Fuck off! So we are increasing the ultimate cost loss. Okay, fine. I get it. It's just because I've been playing Ramatra lately and I really like him and he's a lot of fun. But fine, I'll take it. Okay, block. Nemesis form. Block now reduces damage from stuck projectiles. What we were saying, the same thing that's going to be happening with Doomfist. Farah is not going to hurt me that much, so I can live with that. Annihilation. The ultimate cross was increased by 12%, and block now reduces damage from stuck projectiles. Okay, cool. Then Sigma. Sigma has always had somewhat floatier movement controls than most heroes in order to match his character movement animations. However, this led players to feel like his tank role passive ability wasn't reducing the amount he would be knocked back, since it took him longer to stop than other tanks. We now adjusted this to the standard hero movement values to make the gameplay interactions feel more consistent. I have never played Sigma, so I have no idea what they're talking about. Base movement ground deceleration increased to match standard hero movements. Oh, I see. So he's going to move at the same speed that all the other heroes move, I guess. Winston. Tesla cannon range attack had a decently long charge time relative to the damage it deals. This adjustment will make it more responsive to charge and fire, which can be useful for situations such as finishing off low health enemies, attempting to flee, or poking at enemies before leaping in. This comes at the cost of taking a longer time to recover after firing, which in some cases will be weaker as a burst damage combo with jump pack and primary fire. So the secondary fire charge time was reduced, so this is a buff from 1.2 to 1 second. Yes, he can keep up with his team, yes. Secondary fire recovery time has increased from 0.5 to 0.75. I think that this first one is a buff. I'm not sure about the second one. I don't play Winston either, so I don't know. Okay, that's for our tanks. And these all changes are happening right now. Like, these are live in game. So I can't wait to play. Damage. Bastion. There are several small tuning adjustments to the Bastion here, with the goal of improving overall effectiveness, as Bastion's weakness of being a large and immobile target has proven through the overcome even with such powerful damage potential. The A36 tactical grenade The maximum explosion damage fall-off has been reduced from 70 to 50. Okay, that's a huge buff. Detonation time has reduced from 0.5 to 35 seconds, so it's almost like instant. Okay. Recoil adjusted to recover more quickly. Oh, what? Projectile size was increased from 0.2 to 0.25. Impact damage was increased from 15 to 30. That's a huge buff, bro. Configuration reckon. Reload time was reduced from 1.5 to 1.2. Transforming into configuration assault now repairs 50 armor and health. He can. This is a freaking huge buff for Bastion. He did not need this. Well, you know what? I don't know. All the tanks got buffed, so I don't know. I don't think that it was needed. Yes. Targeting state movement speed increased from 25 to 25 meters per second. Cassidy! Let me just have more water, guys. Sorry. Even with a powerful and reworked magnetic grenade, Cassidy has still been underperforming, so we are reverting his maximum health back to 225, so he's no longer as squishy. Okay. Having his gun damage fall off reach its full reduction sooner and restricting the maximum range on the magnetic grenade to help solidify his position as close to mine range damage dealer. So he has to be more close range, I guess, based on this. Okay. Base health was increased from 200 to 225. Peacekeeper damage fall off range escalated from 24 to 45 meters. Like that was the range, and now it's from 25 to 35 meters. So that was a reduction there in the fall off range damage. Okay. Now, the magnetic grenade projectile now has a maximum travel time on 1.5 seconds, and slow amount was reduced from 30 to 25. Okay, so it doesn't. Okay, that was a nerf. It was a buff on his health, but the grenade is getting a nerf, I think. Hanzo. Hey, Hanzo. Despite being conceptually strange, this gameplay mechanic felt good and fluid to use as Hanzo. However, it often resulted in some frustrating behavior from the enemy players that can be alleviated without impacting Hanzo's overall effectiveness too significantly. So the Storm Arrow drop progress is no longer preserved while wall climbing. I don't use Hanzo. I don't even know what that means. Soldier 76 became much more deathly after his last round of changes, so we are reverting the Helix rocket explosion damage to lower his burst damage. We are also increasing his tactical visor ultimate cost to help account for his overall increased damage output both during the ultimate and leading up to it. So the explosive damage was reduced from 90 to 80, and the tactical visor has been increased to 10%. How do you think? Do you think this was a nerf, Bobby? You and Metlo are the soldiers whenever we play. So I'm not sure about that one, but maybe you can enlighten me. So basically, I can Sonic Arrow and then climb the high ground to use the sight from it. The arrow will disappear as soon as I climb to the high ground. Ah. That sucks. So now you need to be all the way up and then use the arrow, I guess. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's nerfed, a small nerf on soldier. Okay, Sombra. EMP frequency is a little too high given its relative power, so we are increasing it the cost. It will now also deal the usual percentage of math health damage to life, reverse trees, Tree of Life ultimate, instead of treating it like a barrier and destroying it instantly. Ultimate cost increase 15% and no longer destroy last reverse Tree of Life. I don't think I ever did. Torbjorn. We're continuing to add up power into the rivet gun, as the previous changes didn't quite make up for the turret damage decrease. In addition, we are also improving the forge hammer swing speed so that it is more effective to repair the turret while it is under fire. We actually had a Torb yesterday that all he did the entire time was relying 100% of his turret and just continuously repairing it. It was painful. So let's see, the weapon swap time was reduced so you can swap weapons faster. That's nice, we'll love that. And the rivet gun primary fire recovery time is reduced from 0.55 to 0.48. And swing and recovery reduced time is from 0.75 to 0.6 seconds. Okay, but we'll see how that plays. Anna's damage breaking point change was proven too effective overall given her long range, so we are reverting it back to its previous value. We are also increasing the size of unscoped projectiles when firing at enemies. Her projectiles have always had a larger size for allies, which should help them land more consistently against close range threats. So the damage and healing projectile is being reduced from 75 to 70, and unscoped projectiles was increased from 0 to 0.1. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be, I guess. I don't know. I don't play Anna. So I guess that now you can actually do more damage with her. So now when you shoot at enemies on scope, you get a higher chance of actually hitting them. Brigitta's overall effectiveness and survivability have been high relative to the other heroes, so we are reducing the barrier shield health. Why is it always that they have to nerf my girl? We're also slightly adjusting the ultimate cost of Rally as it has become more effective after its rework. I'm not even gonna complain. Now my shield is going to be 300. It's going to be 250 instead of 300. Why is it so hard for people to counter Brigitta? Kiriko. Protection Susu now rewards a more deliberate usage by increasing its healing when cleansing negative effects. It will no longer knock back enemies, as it wasn't particularly important to its overall design and was there to provide feedback for the impact. These nice changes will make the weapon damage output more consistent to reduce some of the disparity between landing critical hits or not. Projection Susu knockback has been removed. Healing reduced from 50 to 40. Now heals for an additional 30 health when cleansing a negative effect. So that's nice. I mean, that's a buff and a nerf. But I think that is compensating one thing with the other. So the healing has been reduced, but if they have an Anna or they have a Junker Queen, then you can go ahead. I think that this also might help because of the new hero. This also might help with her. Like I said, basically she is damage based type of support. So we will see how that goes. Kunai damage was increased from 40 to 45. I don't think that Kunai needed a more damage. As it is, Kiriko's DPSs are a thing. Recovery time reduced from 0.55 to 0.5. Critical damage multiplier reduced from 3 to 2.25. Oh, Jesus. Life Weaver. Oh, Jesus. Okay, he got a lot of things on. The Tree of Life outputs substantial healing, but often doesn't provide enough value for an ultimate ability. To increase its utility, and overhealing done via the tree is now converted to overhealth. Thorn Volley's spread is now less random, with half of the projectiles having a smaller base spread to promote better mid-range consistency. Okay, I like that. Life Grip now has a longer mobility lockout duration to prevent accidental cancels by the affected ally using a movement ability immediately after pulling and being started. After the pull being started. Finally, we are supplementing Life Weaver's survivability with an increase to his overall health pool by converting some of its shield health in order to account for the large pedal hit volume on his back, as well as increasing the healing done by rejuvenating dash. So the base health was reduced. His base health had been reduced from 200 to 175. The base shield health was increased from 0 to 50. Thorn Valley reduced spread for one of the two Thorns volley projectiles fire per shot by 25. Healing has been increased to 25 from 50. I love that change. I was still able to survive, but it was so fucking hard. Healing increase, mobility lockdown duration was also increased from 0.45 to 0.75 seconds. Tree of Life, 50% of Tree of Life's overhealing is now converted into overhealth, up to 100 maximum overhealth. That is really good, and this was I think that it was a buff. It was a huge buff for him. Yes, probably more DPSs too. So, Lucio. In order to help bring Lucio's survivability more in the line with the rest of the support heroes, Crossfade self-healing during AMP is now more effective survival option for Lucio. Crossfade self-healing penalty is now reduced from 60 to 0 for the duration of Amp It Up. That's a huge buff! That's cool! I bet Matt is gonna love it. Mercy. My girl. Damage amplification effects have been often discussed topic lately, and Mercy has been performing strongly at a skill ranks, of course. We're reducing the potency of Mercy's damage boost beam, but want to make sure that it stays powerful enough to feel like an effective and interesting gameplay choice, as making the decision between healing or damage boosting is core Mercy's gameplay. Secondary fire and damage boost was reduced from 30 to 25. That's a huge nerf, and I don't know how that's going to work out. So we will have to see once we are in game. I don't understand why it's so hard for Blizzard to balance her, and if it is not that, it is her guardian angel. She is able to fly too much. She is able to keep somebody alive for too long. Like, that's her whole thing. That is literally her whole thing. Like, my pistol, I got 5 extra bullets last time. That's it. 5 extra bullets. What am I supposed to do with those 5 extra bullets? Seriously.